Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael Allen. I'm the Senior Deputy District Attorney prosecuting the Letitia Stauch case here in the 4th Judicial District. I'm joined here today with District Attorney Dan May. I do know that I speak for everyone who's been involved in this case when I say that our hearts are with Gannon's family and his friends. Ever since news broke that Gannon's body was found in Florida, we've been inundated with inquiries from the press and the public. This will address only what has taken place as a result of that development in this case. As I've said in the past, we will not try this case in the media. Today I filed new formal charges in the case against Letitia Stauch. Those charges are murder in the first degree after deliberation, a Class 1 felony that carries a potential prison sentence of life in prison without parole. In addition to that, I've filed 8 counts of crime of violence for the alleged use of a firearm, a blunt instrument, a knife or other sharp object, and for causing the death of Gannon Stauch. These new charges are added to the original 4 charges that we originally filed in this case. Keep in mind, these are merely allegations. All defendants are presumed innocent until and unless they are proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. I will not compromise the integrity of this investigation, so I will not discuss the circumstances surrounding Gannon's death, nor any details regarding the discovery of his body. And please understand, this development does not mean the investigation comes to an end. This still remains a very active investigation, so if anyone has any credible tips, please contact the El Paso County Sheriff's Office tip line at 719-520-6666 or email those tips to tips@elpasoco.com. I do want to thank everyone involved with the investigation, including the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, the FBI, and our partners, our new partners in Santa Rosa County, Florida, to include the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office and the District 1 Medical Examiner in that jurisdiction. We do still have a pending court date for Letitia Stauch's next appearance in court, which is April 14th, 2020 at 3 p.m.
Can you ask any questions?
I may not be able to answer them, but you can ask them.
Can you explain how the coronavirus outbreak here is changing the way that this case is moving forward? Obviously, you just said we have a scheduled appointment, but they could be up there, right?
Yeah, the chief judge in this district has issued some orders that impact really cases where defendants are out of custody. Any in-custody defendants, like Letitia Stauch, those cases are still being heard as scheduled, at least according to the last release that we've received.
In the past, we'd asked you about trying to move forward without a body. This changes things, right?
It absolutely changes things, yes.
You might not be able to answer this, but can you tell us how long Gannon had been passed away for when he was found?
I'm not going to get into those details.
Can you say anything about how actually finding him or finding his remains now helps the investigation?
Well, anytime you have a homicide case, the body has a lot of evidence associated with it, and I'm speaking in only a general sense. I'm not going to talk about the specifics in this case, obviously.
Have the detectives already been looking in Florida when Gannon's body was found?
I'm not going to get into those details.
How's the family doing currently?
We met with the family earlier today, and obviously they're distraught with this information. They were still holding out hope that Gannon would come home alive despite the original charges that we filed in this case, and they're struggling, and they rightfully would be, considering the circumstance of this case. It's tragic, and we, like I said at the beginning, our hearts go out to them.
The Sheriff's Office said initially there was a tentative identification. Clearly, we feel comfortable enough going out and saying, though, that we have found his body. Can you explain the difference there?
I would just stick with what the Sheriff's Office released in their press release today.
Can you talk about what it means to investigators themselves emotionally to have this?
I think that would be a great question as we get further along in this case, probably towards the end of the case rather than right now. Our job isn't done.
Timeline on bringing him back and giving him a formal funeral and services?
So that will probably go a lot towards what the family's decisions are. I'm not in a position to answer that. Any other questions?
When you say the investigation continues, this was one of the big steps we were trying to get to, but we're still looking for more evidence?
We're always, every homicide investigation, the investigation continues all the way right up to trial, actually. So that's not any different for this case. The only thing I want to add is that when everybody leaves today, Lee Richards, our PIO, is in the back of the room, and she will have copies of the new amended complaint and information, so you can take a copy of that when you leave.
Does that include the old charges as well?
All of the original 4 charges are included with the new charges.
Can you explain the difference? Previously, we hadn't said, there was a certain level of knowing that we were trying to approach. You said it was knowing but not premeditated. Now we are at premeditated. Can you?
The new count of first-degree murder, that Class 1 felony that I added, is with intent and deliberation. That's the classic first-degree murder charge that people think of when they think of first-degree murder.
And we can't say the difference of why we've added that.
I'm not going to get into why we've added that. That would get into the facts.
Can you explain why there is a gag order in this case and what that does to protect the case?
Yeah, so it sort of gets back to what I said at the beginning, that the charges are merely allegations and everybody's presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. That's why gag orders go into effect and why gag orders say we can only talk about certain things that happen in the courtroom. When we file formal charges, like we did in this case, and when we file amended charges like we did today, those are public records, and so we can talk about those and not get into the actual facts that support those charges.
Speaking of public records, have you been in contact with the judge at all in terms of releasing the arrest affidavit or probable cause affidavit in terms of?
Not since the last court date.
How much more important is it to you to prosecute Letitia Stauch to the fullest extent?
I'm not going to get into that. Every single homicide case that I've ever prosecuted, I take it very seriously.
Can you go into detail about any of the new charges and what those are?
So I've already laid out what they are, but the new count 1 is the with intent and deliberation, the murder in the first degree, and then the 8 counts of crime of violence sentencing enhancers. And those allege the use of a firearm, the use of a blunt instrument, the use of a knife or other sharp object, and then the 4th and 8th version of those is causing the death of Gannon Stauch.
Do you believe that Gannon was killed here in Colorado?
We have jurisdictional requirements, so we couldn't charge it if we didn't think that it occurred here in our jurisdiction.
Do you think anyone else is involved?
I'm not going to get into that right now.
Thanks for coming, you guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.